Hey, it's your boy Dre off the top here with a quick note. We recorded this episode in March 2025, which means that we recorded this before the Nintendo Switch Online apps were renamed to Nintendo Classics. So please forgive our now outdated references to Nintendo Switch Online in this episode, but just know we are actually talking about the newly minted Nintendo Classics. And the title of this episode will of course reflect that. Okay, that's it. Enjoy the show.
It's time for fun time.
Hello, party people. Hello, Nintendo people. Hello, Switch people. Hello, online people. It's your boy, Dre. And I am here with Steve once again.
Ain't no party like an NSO party because, fuck.
Because an NSO party don't fuck.
Yeah, that's what I meant to say.
All right, NSO party it is, baby. You guys know how this works already. We're doing the NSO thing. We played 6 games on Nintendo Switch Online, and we're going to give you mini reviews of them. We like to do this every so often. We just pick 6 games that we've always wanted to try out. We try to stay away from things that we know super well or whatever. Like we're not gonna be out here reviewing Mario Kart 64 or something. But yeah, 6 things that caught our eye that we want to talk about.
You know, one of these days, Andre, we do need to try a little something called The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time.
Really?
I've heard amazing things about Z-targeting.
Lots of people are always wrong. Let's get started with our first game. Our first game is Alleyway, released for Game Boy in August 1989. That's right, it was a launch game for Game Boy in North America. It was developed by Intelligent Systems and published by Nintendo, of course. And it's a Breakout clone. Arkanoid clone, however you want to say it. To me, it's always an Arkanoid clone, even though Breakout came first. But yeah, that's all it is. Nothing else to describe that gameplay, Steve.
Andre, why is it called Alleyway?
You know, I've never really thought about it. Why, does the name bother you, or?
Did you look at the cover?
Yeah, I actually love the cover. I love the depiction of Mario actually piloting the paddle. I like that idea.
Yeah, I love it too. And none of it says Alleyway to me.
Yeah, it says Arkanoid.
But yeah, it does.
But yeah, it's I don't know. I've never really thought about the name before. So I guess I don't know if they're naming something. Okay, we can't name it Breakout. We can't name it something weird like Arkanoid. Nintendo wasn't going to do that. Alleyway seems like the kind of thing they would do. Piddle paddle. Would you have liked it if it was called Piddle Paddle?
Yeah, as a dirty-minded podcaster, yes. As an American consumer, probably not.
All right. Well, as a kid, I was obsessed with Arkanoid, the famous Taito take on Breakout, as everyone knows. I loved that cabinet, and I especially loved the audio design. It was magic to me. Loved that game. So naturally, a game like Alleyway was attractive to me when I came around to getting a Game Boy, but I never did manage to get it. I only first played it on like 3DS Virtual Console or something, and I didn't even play it that much. So I consider this NSO trip to be my first real play of Alleyway. And Steve, it's just Breakout. it's much more basic than you might think it would be for a Nintendo developed Breakout clone, but it's pretty damn basic.
Okay, for one, I also need to come clean a little bit. I did play this one time as a kid. In, again, road trips in the car. We're swapping game carts around, trying shit out, and the glare was not kind to me in that lack of AC car that day, let me tell you. Trying the Alleyway, but I thought it was fine. But you're right. You're thinking about the Game Boy launch, and what are the breakout hits? There's Tetris, obviously. Everyone had Tetris because it came with it, and Super Mario Land, and you would think this would be a bit more interesting, but you look at everything else. When everyone else is running down the hall going, guys, I got it. We have baseball for Game Boy. I get how I get how Alleyway suddenly becomes the next best thing for your launch era Game Boy.
Probably. This is probably a Gunpei Yokoi joint, right? For sure.
Oh, he had to have a finger in this, at least.
For sure. It's not just because it's basic doesn't mean it's bad necessarily. Like, they start with the gimmicks as early as level 2, where the stage starts like endlessly scrolling to the left. That's kind of interesting. And then level 3 has like that ceiling that closes in on you every 4 or 5 or 6 piddle paddles. Right? I mean, it's oh, do you like how the paddle shrinks randomly sometimes at various points? Don't worry, it happens to all guys.
Yeah, the paddle shrinks, the blocks lower. Sometimes other things happen, but it's most of the same thing all the way through. Sometimes you get the bonus levels shaped like the Mario sprites. Oh, man.
And they play some jaunty music there.
And it's weird because the rest of the game is eerily silent. Like, you couldn't come up with some tunes?
You know what, though? That's Arkanoid as well. The sound design of that game works because it's like you just have the jingle to start the level or start a new life, and you hear the pong pink, but that's like 16-bit audio at the arcade, and it's very resonant and echoey. Like, Game Boy can't do that.
I was going to say, with Arkanoid, it's echoing, and when you die, it's a boom, 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 boom. But here,
right.
Give me something to listen to. And if you don't want to give me something to listen to, you had the volume knob on the side. I could decide not to listen to that anymore. I mean,
yeah, but then they wanted to, I don't know. I was going to say something stupid. Like, then they wanted the bonus rounds to really sound jazzy and happy, right? Oh, you got but it's like, nah. I get it.
You still could have did that.
You know me. I'm always someone who advocates for music. Okay, so you're not gonna catch me saying, shut the fuck up. This is a masterpiece. Okay, Steve, and sound design. But as an Arkanoid stan, it's very hard for me to not compare here. I definitely prefer Taito's level design ingenuity because in that game, as early as level 2, you were doing some wild shit in Arkanoid. Wild shit. It's like, what the hell is this? And Alleyway just doesn't have that. So it's fine. Also, like, it doesn't even have, how like Arkanoid has like the rolling capsule power-ups, like down to the screen you can get. Alleyway doesn't have that. Right? I'm not saying it has to be exactly the same game, but it's kind of just plain. It's very plain.
Again, you're looking at the cover and you're thinking, oh man, what's going to happen with Mario jumping into that pod and busting them bricks? But nothing. The game feels like this missing link between Breakout and Arkanoid, but it came out way after both of those games did.
Sure did. I think it's still fun, though. I mean, Nintendo did make a good Arkanoid. It's not great, but it's good. I think I would give it a B.
Oh, yeah, full disclosure, I kept playing until I got a game over, and that took me like level 16 or so when it was all Mario heads. So,
I don't think I got that far.
Yeah, B- for me, all the same.
All right, let's move on to the next game.
All right, we're crawling out of the alleyway for Cobra Triangle. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Snap into a Slim Jim, motherfuckers.
Came out for the NES in 1989, developed by Rareware and published by Nintendo. I gotta stop that for now. I need some of that for later. You'll see.
Save it for later.
And what the hell is it? An isometric racing game, a shooter, an obstacle course? It's kind of all of these things, right, Andre?
Yeah, what we out here? Like, we're doing stuff. What are we doing out here? Man, Rare really, really wishes they could make arcade games, didn't they? Like,
it's RC Pro-Am on boats with guns. It's neat. There's a little propeller that pops up from your little boat that flies you from level to level. It's the most rareware thing in the world.
I love it. Yeah, I did love that. Was a nice touch of whimsy, wasn't it? I guess they just were not done with that RC program concept, huh? I mean, I guess they did eventually make an RC program too, right?
They did, I think they did. Yeah.
Yeah, but that would come way after this. I would think this game would be really boring, Cobra Triangle, if it was just RC program with boats. I that would have been okay, but not exciting. What Cobra Triangle does is a lot better than that. Because every level is this weird little challenge. Okay, this part is a racing game. Okay, in this one, take these 5 things and bring them to the center of the stage, but look out for the sharks or whatever's trying to steal them. Okay. This game is a bonus level. Shoot as many things as you can. Okay. Maybe their experience working on like the ports of like Marble Madness and other stuff gave them these ideas, because I don't know. Like, it's very arcade. If I didn't know this wasn't already an arcade game, I would have thought it was, for sure.
Yeah, for me, this ended up being another one of those you need the damn manual situations, because there was no way someone who never played this before was going to deduce that you need to collect the doodads from the first 2 levels, then press select to turn on perks like more missiles or boat turbo to deal with the other shit that's going on. But once you pick it up, it's very satisfying.
It is satisfying. I like the obstacle course stuff too. That's fun. I like the isometric perspective, just like RC Program and overhead lends it to this, like, I don't know, fast, snappy arcade play. And like, quite honestly, I don't have a whole hell of a lot to say about it other than that. I like to protect the swimmers. That's fun. Protect the swimmers.
I think I again, more guessing on my end. I'm going to swear here that the boss levels were made to sell turbo controllers.
Oh God!
I could have sworn I got carpal tunnel trying to wail on the Cobra Triangle as shown on the cover. Yeah, that dragon, he's the Cobra Triangle.
I grew up playing most games with the NES Advantage. Remember what that is?
Yeah.
The joystick. Okay, yeah. I had that, and that had turbo functions on it. So, like, I probably would have abused that.
I mean, full disclosure, on my second attempt, I did load on my Damon Machina controllers and loaded on the Turbo Foray to do. I'm like, oh, yeah, this is much better. I cheated.
I didn't know. Well, no. This deserves it. Rare wants you to press buttons sometimes, and I'm like, dog, I ain't doing it.
I think we could all agree it's a 80s Rareware game. It sounds incredible.
Oh, David Wise, we bow to you. Jesus Christ.
Although I do think they were a bit in love with the falling over a cliff sound. It's in Snake Rattle and Roll too. Oh, who am I kidding? It's a great sound.
It's really good. It's really good. It's a very simple game. There isn't a whole hell of a lot to say about it, but it's snappy, fun, involving. And it has that, I know this is so cliche, especially in the year of our Lord 2025. It has that one more time quality. Wants you to, okay, let's play it again. It makes you want to try again, which is what any good arcade game should do, even if it's on NES. So I would give this also a B.
Yeah, I'm giving this a B. But not begrudgingly. It's a very solid B.
Okay.
It's those are allowed to exist. I know we live in a world of ratings where B's are a death sentence, but
oh yeah, or C plus is seen as like, oh, this must be the worst game. Nah, it's just average, right? But this is definitely better than average. Full disclosure, I'd probably give this more like a B minus if it didn't have David Weiss's music and sound and stuff, but it does, so it gets a B. All right, let's move on to the next game. And our next game is Solar Jetman, released for NES in October 1990, developed by Rare again and published by TradeWest. Man, those two were friends, huh? Solar Jetman is a exploration game, would you say, where you carefully pilot your ship and you fight against the inertia of space, and you bring back artifacts to your ship. So it's a exploration survival game of sorts.
I'm not going to beat around the bush, Andre. This game is so fucking good.
It's incredible.
You always hear about this game in hushed whispers around the internet, like, Solar Jetman. It's really fucking good, you guys. And this earns it. It's really good.
It's so good. I've said it a million times on this show. Rare's best time was the NES. It just was. I know every millennial who has Banjo-Kazooie up their ass and has feels about it. I don't care. NES was the Rare was it. And the games like this prove it.
Hi, it's me, the millennial with Banjo-Kazooie up his ass.
Sorry. Yeah, look, you didn't have to admit that. I was giving you an out. Oh, everyone knows already, huh?
Look, Rare is more than just Banjo-Kazooie. It's also Solar Jetman and other games. Anyway.
Anyway, no, this is one of those Rare games that passed me by back in the day. So NSO was legit my very, very first play of it. And I'm glad I waited until now to play it, though, because little kid me would have hated this game. I did not like games that controlled like this. For reference, for anybody out there, it's like Asteroids. You have you're jet propelled, and you like turn your ship 360 degrees, and you jet propel yourself through carefully through caves and stuff, and don't hit the walls. But you gotta tow this stuff back to the ship and whatever. Oh, don't run out of fuel. Stuff like that would have driven me crazy back then. But now, I don't know, I think in the last 10 years, I grew to appreciate very old arcade games. You ever play Lunar Lander, Steve? You a fan? Okay, yeah. I love Lunar Lander and stuff like that. This gives me that Lunar Lander careful maneuvering feel, plus a little bit of action, plus some fuel scares. I love that shit. So Solar Jetman is great. And great level design, too.
Yeah, echoing you, it's deliberate as hell, and much like you, I would not have had patience for this as a youngin' at all. But today, in my 30s, yeah, give me all of this. And what helps with this for me is you don't have a time limit beyond be real fucking careful with your fuel.
Yeah.
And what I think really contributes to the appeal of this game is that all the levels are different planets, and each one has its own gravity, and you got to teach yourself how that works each time.
Yeah.
And it's just so great. Rare, even before their dawn of, we got the fancy modeling computers, really cranked out the most of their hardware, and it really shows here. Just you look at the capsule that you're flying around in, just tilts so, and all the stuff you're picking up is just dangling there, just so.
It's great.
I feel like, is it fair to say that this is an NES game with some of the most stuff going on under the hood? It certainly feels that way to me for an action-oriented title anyway.
Well, Rare made the best graphics on the system. Let's be real. They always have. They always did really eye-popping things. And Solar Jetman is definitely one of them. It's not just that they have all the animations, the way they're carefully crafted. It's not just the ship damn near looks pre-rendered.
It does.
Yeah, man. And it's like I said, it has the maneuvering of Lunar Lander. It has the multi-directional shooting of something like Asteroid. But it also has the out-of-the-ship action, like one of Rare's previous games, Jetpack, where you kind of get out of the ship and then you kind of maneuver your guy around to do something. Which all three of those things combined, and like you said, each planet has their own gravity and stuff, so you don't really get bored trying to, master the same thing. Just great. Also, once again, David Wise, we bow to you. You got your music this time. They could have been silent, just like Alleyway, right? Where it's just the quietness of space. They didn't do that. They have some nice pensive tunes here.
I think I really would need some nice pensive tunes for 12 levels. I did not finish this game yet. I'm sorry to say.
It's tough. It's tough. It's so much fun, though.
I'm glad that we have NSO where we could save some states and get back to this later. I fully intend on finishing this as soon as I can.
Yeah.
A small tip for everyone else that should be playing this game. In the original, you needed the select button to activate your booster. That would be remapped to minus today. That is a lousy place for it.
Yep.
But the Nintendo Switch console lets you remap things on a system level. So put that shit onto Y and you'll be golden.
Yeah, it's easier. I may do with the ship. Or, hey, use your NES controllers that if you have those. you can buy on the Nintendo store, which I do have now. And now I think that'll be a much easier way to play Solar Jetman. But yeah, it's a bit of a struggle if you have to use minus. Maybe it won't be so bad if you're just using a single Joy-Con. Maybe it's not terrible that way.
Oh, I didn't try. I just was getting frustrated a little bit. Like I'm like doing this lobster claw thing. I'm like, there has to be a better way. I'm like, there literally is. It's in the menu. It's you dumbass.
I thought you had the NES Joy-Cons, quote unquote Joy-Cons. So.
No, I have the Super Nintendo one.
Okay. I bought all three on a whim earlier this year, and I'm glad I did because, like, honestly, I really do think the Nintendo 64 controller is one of those things where it's like, I feel like you just have to use that. It's so designed. Those games are so designed around it. Using anything else just feels incorrect.
I like using the GameCube controller for certain N64 games, but I get it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Solar Jetman, excellent stuff. I wrote B+ here. I'm going to bump it up to an A-. It deserves it.
Yeah, I've been sitting at A- the whole time, and it could even well be an A by the time I finish it for real. It's just great stuff.
Well, see, shit, damn, you could have bullied me into a higher grade this time then. But I did it myself.
Look, a good game's a good game, you know?
I just thought you wouldn't pass up the opportunity to bully me, that's all.
Well, I didn't need to. David Wise and the gang did it for you.
They sure did. David Wise bullied me into an A-. Let's move on to our next game.
Iggy's Reckin Balls. Ugh, I need a shower after that. Was released for the Nintendo 64 in August of 1998. Developed by Iguana Entertainment and published by Acclaim. It's a platforming racing game with very cursed box art.
Oh, this box art is hella cursed. Even at the time, I was like,
yeah.
This is frightening. Very cursed. If you've never seen it, turn on your NSO and look at that shit sometime. Oof. A platforming racing game? Question mark, I guess is what I wrote down here. Okay. Can I say something up front here? Here's my old man moment. I usually have one of these per of these episodes, and here's one right now. So the animated Acclaim logo with the letters, like they individually walk into place, right? I love that. And then the Iguana Entertainment logo with Iggy swinging into place. Both of those are a goddamn delight. Why don't we do those anymore? We don't even do the CGI animated ones nowadays. Like, remember the Japanese companies all used to have those killer animations in the PS1 era? Capcom, Konami, Taito, Namco. All of those are fucking famous still to this day. What the hell happened to having some fun around here, goddammit?
We got to improve those load times, Andre.
But we're in the PS5 era. There's no what load times? We don't even have them anymore.
Got to improve those load times, Andre.
Anyway, get it together, developers. Get your shit together. Have some fun logos. Remember the old Traveler's Tales ones and shit? Come on. Do something.
Yeah, honestly, Andre, I gotta level you. This might be the most put together thing about this game because...
Can I ask you a question, Steve? Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
And I think they'll set the tone for Iggy's Reckin Balls. Almost said Reckin Crew. Iggy's Reckin Balls. Have you ever felt like a game is straight up the wrong genre?
I thought that was a very odd thing to ask until I, played Iggy's Reckin Balls for myself.
Because it's like we said, it's a platforming racing game, but I think it should have just been a platformer because it's Steve. Why?
This needed to be a side-scrolling platformer so fucking bad. I know we weren't doing that in 1998, but it felt okay enough to control, and there was a hook going on with the grabby arm thing. But this racing game here feels like you're at the Acclaim booth in 1996, and this is the tech demo for Iggy's arm-grabbing adventure that coming soon. Like you're all at the booth and you're trying out the multiplayer mode. Like, this is neat. This is a neat demo for the full game. When's that coming out? And It's like,
This is the game. Yeah, I'm glad you said that because that's exactly what it feels like. It feels like the lame multiplayer mode of a platformer because it's an N64. You got to have a 4-player mode, right? Because you have 4 controller ports. So it's like, okay, fine, we'll make the shitty little mode and then the real game will be the single player platformer. No, all you have is the racing game platformer. It'd be like if Sonic Adventure 2 Battle was just like literally the battle part.
yeah.
What is going on?
Clearly, all the marketing money went, not the marketing money, the development money went to Turok. And
yeah, that's
because
sure
look at this box art. You know what these guys remind me of? There was this weird line of shrunken head toys that this long hair made of rubbery plastic, and they all could have passed for characters in this game. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I think so. This is tugging at my brain.
They all kind of just hung there. You could swing them around, I guess, because they were like they had like the fake hair. I'm bringing this up that for one, I tried looking these up for no avail. So if anyone knows what the hell I'm talking about, that'd be great. If you could let us know in the comments which the line I'm talking about. And for 2, what kind of person drew up Iggy and Friends and said, "Yup, 80s." Ugly 80s and 90s toys. That's the aesthetic for the video game.
Especially in 1998 when we were starting to kind of get away from that, at least a little bit. But it's just not. I mean, look, man, I really try my best to review a game for what it is instead of what it's not. But it feels impossible to do that with this game. I don't know. This feels so ill-advised. It's not terrible, right? I didn't play this game and it's like, this completely sucks. It's just like, why is this the game? It's just baffling to me, man. So I'm going to give it a C, and I feel like I'm being really generous. I should probably give it more like a C-, but I feel kind of bad just being like, this should be something else. But it really should.
I'll take that step, Andre. I'm giving it a C-.
Okay.
Because maybe this was fun with friends, but I was not finding 2 to 3 other people to play this with.
Yeah, this wasn't it, dog. Let's move on to the next game.
Extreme G was released for the Nintendo 64 in October 1997.
What did I tell you about yelling at the audience? Okay, you just scared someone out of their car.
But it's Extreme G, developed by Probe Entertainment and published by Acclaim.
Remember how funny every magazine thought they were being by calling it Extreme Fog?
I do now.
That was a joke. Extreme Fog. That was the meme back in the day. I'm gonna do some more comparing here. Kind of like what I just said about Iggy's Reckin Ball. Damn, I keep wanting to say crew. Iggy's Reckin Crew, fuck it. I try my best not to compare games based on what they're not, but come on. You cannot not compare Extreme G to Wipeout. You absolutely have to. And since I was a PS1 aficionado by that point big time, and I loved Wipeout, especially the music, because in that game it had like the music I was legit listening to. Future Sound of London, Chemical Brothers, The Crystal Method, etc. Right? That was my shit. BT. Extreme G doesn't have music like that because Nintendo 64. Right? So you kind of just have to do your own techno, which is good. And it's a futuristic racer that has very, very good track design. I think that's why this game works, Steve. It feels like a roller coaster compared to like other games of its type. Like F-Zero X doesn't feel like a roller coaster.
I definitely think it's unique. Unlike you, I didn't play Wipeout when it was relevant. For me, I'm going to have a hard time giving this. I'm going to have a hard time telling everyone, yeah, go play it when F-Zero X is a few icons away. But at the same time, unlike Iggy, I can immediately see the appeal of popping this on with buddies for a little while. You can't fly off the tracks in this game, like to the point where you'll be popping in and out of textures and things. Like they will keep you on the track, no matter what. And it's just funny to see. You could shoot each other with missiles. There's weird ass levels, including one with bats that should just be blurry at the speed you're going at, but they're just kind of there for some reason.
You must see the bats. They must be seen.
Someone worked a whole 10 minutes on them little 2D bats that just fly at the screen, and you will see them. I mean, to me, this ended up being less of a video game and more of a toy to break. There's value in that.
There sure is. No, I don't mean it to sound like Extreme G is just shitty Wipeout or something, because it does have its own thing going on. It has its own feel. It's just, again, it's impossible not to compare. You kind of have to. It makes it impossible not to. I think there's some stuff that really hurts a presentation. I think it could have really used a few voice clips. You don't even have like 3, 2, 1, go or anything. Or like maybe when you pick your bike, some have a little voice. Like there's nothing like that. It feels like it doesn't have the personality that a game like this should in the 90s. And I get it. It's an N64. It's, that kind of stuff takes a lot of space, but it's not going to take too much space to have like finish or something when you go across the finish line.
Okay, but that would have taken money away from Turok.
Okay, everything comes back to Turok with Acclaim. I get it.
and especially in 1997. And while we're here, can we talk about how weird it is that on the app, this and Iggy's boxes on the app have the Throwback Entertainment stamp on it?
Yeah.
I appreciate that that's how we have to legally archive these things, especially, when how these things were scattered to the winds after Acclaim went away. But,
right.
Especially when Night Dive has the Turoks and the Shadow Mans, but it's just weird.
It is weird. It kind of like how like all the techno stuff now says Arc System Works. They actually like changed the ROM to say that. It's weird.
They made 3 of these Extreme Gs.
Yeah, I had the third one on GameCube.
You actually owned that?
Mm-hmm. I sure did. I got it for like $20 at Game Crazy or something.
God bless you.
It was good. It was fun. It wasn't F-Zero GX. It was good, though. I think that's always the problem, right? With Extreme G, there's always just something better.
Yeah, it starts with an F and it ends with a 0.
Starts with a wipe, ends with an out. That sounds filthy, actually. Never mind. Yeah, I don't know. Pretty good game. I'm gonna give it a B. I probably made it sound worse than it was. It's just that, it's just not as good as other games in its genre. That's all, but it's still a B. I like Extreme G.
Yeah, I'm giving it a B too for bring your friends. I think there's definitely a limited amount of appeal in playing it up by yourself, but you bring your friends and you have some beers, also starts with the letter B, and I think you'll have a lot of fun.
All right, let's move on to our final game. And what a final game it is, Steve. It's Battletoads Double Dragon.
Oh, it sure fucking is.
Released for SNES in December 1993. That's the version we played, was SNES, because that's what's on NSO. Developed by Rare and published by TradeWest. And it's exactly what it sounds like. It's a beat-em-up featuring the 3 Battletoads and the Double Dragons themselves, Bimmy and Jimmy Lee. If you were with us the last time we did an NSO grab bag thing, you probably remember me mentioning this during our Battletoads and Battle Maniac segment, that my friend had the NES version of Battletoads Double Dragon, and that's the one I played. But the thing is, I didn't realize at the time the NES version was the only one to have existed at that point. The 16-bit versions came a full 6 months later, which I don't understand how that happened, Steve. It's just it's so fucking bizarre.
We were in this weird state where we needed to somehow make the NES still be a thing for a little while longer because it sold so much for a while here. We weren't allowed to transition just yet fully.
I guess not. Yeah, I guess maybe that's the version they were working on first, and then they decided, hey, 16-bit version should also exist, and they came to SNES and Genesis. But, okay, with a game this bizarre, Battletoads Double Dragon, we don't usually do this on an NSO show, but I think we have to this time. I think we need a little bit of either production history or how and why did this happen? Why did we have a Battletoads Double Dragon crossover game? Could you find anything out there? Because I couldn't.
I did my best, but I using my Steve amateur detective work here. TradeWest published this game. They were the U.S. publisher for Double Dragon and Battletoads separately here, and I'm sure that did a lot to make this happen.
Right.
At the same time, Technos, the original publishers of Double Dragon, declared bankruptcy in 1996, and I imagine they were having some degree of money troubles around this point. So I don't think it's the biggest stretch in the world to imagine that even back then that they would be a little okay with a little bit of nudging to say, let other people work on their shit if it got other eyes, other people's eyes on their product.
Yeah, they were having trouble at this point. They keep trying to keep up with, like, I don't know, doing Kunio-kun stuff. I think one of their last games was the Dodgeball on Neo Geo, and they had like a Double Dragon fighting game, if you remember.
I know the game that we're now calling River City Girls Zero was like one of the last ones too, cited on Super NES.
Yeah. So they were just kind of in the shit at this time. Okay, Steve.
I know.
We got to do it. We got to do the intro. Again, this is not something we typically do on NSO, but we have to this time for a game this silly of a premise. We absolutely must drop the music now.
When a mysterious energy beam from outer space renders Earth military powerless, a city-sized spaceship called the Colossus smashes out of the moon. Professor T. Bird, the guy from the Game Over menus, knows it has to be the Dark Queen trying her latest galaxy-dominating plan. He's right, of course, but what he doesn't know is that the shady lady's taking no chances this time, and she's cunningly teamed up with the equally shady Shadow Boss. This means that the Battletoads not only have to fight the Queen and her sidekicks, but a Bobo and the Shadow Boss's other minions too. What are those gnarly toads gonna do about it? Well, first they're gonna get even by picking up Billy and Jimmy Lee, aka the Double Dragons, from City Hall before taking an express trip to intercept the battleship Colossus. A big ship packed with more bruisers and firepower than anybody's ready for. Will this team up between the Toads and the Dragons be enough to settle the score? About that.
Bravo. Got to clap. Give yourself a round of applause. I need you to clap for yourself. There you go. Absolutely. Great stuff. I mean, look, we can't do those for every game on here because, one, they're not that interesting, and two, these shows would take forever. But my God, thank you. Thank you for your service. Steve, this game sucks ass.
This isn't very good, but I can't write it off 100%.
You know what? I'm going to ruin it for the people. I'm going to say this up front. I'm going to give this game an F. I have never given any game an F on these shows. I'm going to give this an F. That's how bad I think this game is.
It's not good, but I'm still giving it a D.
Okay. So here's the thing. As I said, my friend had this on NES, and I remember playing it. I didn't think it was good, but I remember playing it being like, okay, whatever, it's fine. Passable, but forgettable. Maybe that's the best way to say it. And I was thinking, okay, maybe it's better on SNES. It is not better on SNES. It is horrendous. So this game is ass, but let me start here. I think it is interesting that Battletoads Double Dragon is completely, in gameplay and in spirit, a Battletoads game. This is not a Double Dragon game. It concedes nothing at all to Double Dragon. This is just Battletoads with Double Dragon characters added to it.
I mean, what are you talking about, Andre? If you play as a Double Dragon, you can do the jump kick. Yeah, you're right. This is very much a Battletoads game with Double Dragon stuff grafted on. But it's a Rareware game. They're gonna make the game they know, and then they got the double dragons somehow, and they are the ultimate team after all.
Yeah,
it's just so cheesy, you know. We're in fucking space. We're in the vacuum of space punching guys, and then you die, and T-Bird's sitting there like, you guys call yourselves the ultimate team.
You're pieces of shit. Go help the double dragons.
and then you make it to a boss, and even the double dragons do the Battletoads eye bulge thing the toads do, and it's just funny.
Yeah, I mean, but it just gives nothing, and maybe
not good.
No, but here's the thing: maybe it's just because I loved Double Dragon, and I always thought Battletoads was trash. So, like, I wanted them to concede something to Double Dragon, but you don't get it. I guess the first boss is a Bobo, but who cares? I don't know, man. It's just. Well, I guess I shouldn't blame Rare too much for going the Battletoads route, because, like, that's kind of what you do. If there's a crossover game and one company or the other is making it, that's what's going to happen. Capcom versus SNK, that's a Street Fighter game. You know, that's not a King of Fighters game. It's not a Fatal Fury game. That is Street fucking Fighter. I
mean, we did play the other one on our show a while ago.
Oh, that's a SNK game through and through. Especially an SNK game from 2003 when they were having trouble. You know, like you can feel it. So,
I mean, I would love to play the alternate reality Technos version of this game, but that was not happening.
That was not happening.
not with all the shit they were dealing with.
they could not keep themselves afloat at all at this point. So my big thing that I hated about Battletoads and Battle Maniacs on Super Nintendo when we did our previous show of these is that I hated how the simple act of like walking up to guys and punching was just felt terrible, or the computer wouldn't even let you fucking do it most of the time because they would just punch you. They would get the frame jump on you. They would just do a full combo on you and you'd either be dead or kicked off the stage where you would die. And it was just like, what am I supposed to do here? Battletoads Double Dragon has the same problem, but even worse. Steve, it's so bad. You literally cannot play it. It's just not a beat 'em up. You can't walk up to anybody and punch them. You will die. What is even going on? You will never get to punch first in this game. Not a single time.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Again, I'm not defending this. I made it through 6 levels by playing as a dragon.
God bless you.
Jump kicking to maybe get an edge. Occasionally picking up a beat stick, and the thing that this game doesn't do that other Battletoads games do is that there's not so many gimmicks. Like the thing I complained about in Battle Maniacs where like every level felt like it needed to do something else doesn't really come up here. All the levels are a beat 'em up except level 4 where for some reason that decided it needed to be a shmup that sort of controls like asteroids. And Solar Jetman, this ain't, Andre. It is a disaster.
Yeah.
It is still better than the gimmicks in Battle Maniacs, and it's, on theme, like it's space. Like back in Battle Maniacs, it's like we're riding on snakes, and now we're pushing a shopping cart on a mine track. I'm like, what does this all have to do with each other? But
yeah,
here at least we're on theme, which is, we're the double dragons in space, and we don't know how to fly this thing, but we're going to do it anyway. And
it's just wild to me that, well, 2 things. One, this guy on Discord a few days ago finally said to me, hey, if you play as a double dragon, you can actually jump kick. I'm like, oh, okay. So I tried it, and yes, you can do that. It doesn't make the game any better. It's still an F.
No.
But at least it's something. But think about that. You have a beat 'em up or you can't beat 'em up. You all you can do is jump kick or do the double tap and like do a dash or ram or something like that. That's literally how you have to defeat everything, including the first boss of Bobo, where you just literally just do that over and over while he just stands there and doesn't move. And then you win. It is so ill-conceived. look, man, we know like this isn't a licensed game per se, but it's something Rare's just kind of doing in their off time. Hey, let's put out this thing that's not really our properties necessarily. Battletoads is, right? But let's just make this thing. It'll be popular. Everyone wants to see this crossover, right? No, nobody was asking for this.
I feel like Battletoads is always in a weird state. You ever see the cartoon pilot for this? For Battletoads?
I did, yeah.
I know they compiled a bunch of them on a tape. There's like a tape of this and Bubsy. Anyway, but it's weird, like how they thought they were going to do a cartoon of this for like a minute.
I would have watched it. I was the kind of kid who would watch such a thing, but Jesus Christ, it's just, man, it's just the graphics are also actually a big downgrade from Battle Maniacs. At least was beautiful. Like this is not.
Well, Battle Maniacs was for Super Nintendo. Battle Maniacs Double Dragon was on Super Nintendo, NES, Sega Genesis, and I think there's a Game Boy version. And I think that needed to be on fucking everything, and that's why it looks like that.
I guess there was a Game Boy version.
I think I saw some. I think Limited Run's trying to sell that right now. Yeah.
So I had to know. So after playing this abomination of a video game, I had to know because, like I said, I played the NES version back in the day, and I thought it was not good, but still passable, like mediocre enough. So I was like, "Are my memories lying to me?" So I went back and I archived, quote unquote, the NES version, and it's not that bad. It still gets like a D plus C minus if I'm feeling super generous, but the NES version is actually better. It's weird. I don't know what happened to the Super Nintendo one. I suppose the Genesis version isn't much better either. I assume it's the same product.
We have a whole bunch of apps where all versions of these games should be. It's interesting that they didn't put all these out at the same time, so we could compare and contrast all these different versions of this shitty game.
I do wish they would put Genesis Battletoads up. I think that is a distinct version that is worth like looking at because it's like the only 16-bit port of like the original game. Because obviously, the Super Nintendo game is a sequel. Again, Battletoads isn't very good, but I still would like to play that one. But anyway. Even though this game sucks, once again, for the third time this show, David Wise, we still bow to you, even in this time of need. It doesn't save the game from getting an F, but we still bow to you.
Yeah, the D is for, David Wise is still here. That's good.
You're giving us a D. Okay. Can I talk you down to a D minus? Can we hear a D minus?
The game is for D because the Double Dragons are here.
That's a joke I shouldn't make on the air, so I'm just going to keep that one in my head. Okay, fine. All right, fine. And one of these days, I'll talk you up or down. One of these times. Anyway, that's enough of this shit. Thanks for listening to our NSO show, Volume 3. We'll just keep doing these. They'll keep releasing games. We'll keep talking about them 6 at a time. And that's about it, Steve.
R.I.P. Super Soccer. Near.
We don't give a shit about Super Soccer. Okay, see you next time. Check the description of this podcast to find our links on social media. We'll see you next time. Bye.
You've been listening to